888-303-9136. Call right now. 888-303-9136.
The following program, paid for by Right Path Real Estate, does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station. It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today. Get ready. The guy that will put your fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hot mics.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Do not adjust your radio dial or your Facebook feed. It is actually Tom Perry in on a Friday. I know some of y'all may be expecting to tune in to hear JB, Jason Bible, the Bibesters. He's not in today, and so I'm in his spot. And it's probably more of a permanent thing, because for those of y'all that don't know, we had base camp last night. And for those of y'all haven't heard, Jason and I were in the studio together on Wednesday and made an announcement that about 6 weeks ago, Jason approached me and said, hey, I really want out on 3 of the 5 businesses we're partnering on because of the time that it takes, taking me away from investing. And so over the last 6 weeks, I've put together the funds to purchase him out. So now I'm the sole owner of Houston House Buyers and Right Path Real Estate. And he's still going to be actively involved. We're partners on the Penn Realty Group, and we're also partners on the American Real Estate Meetup, which is a competitor to the National RIA. So excited about all of that. Big news. Hey, good morning, Daniel. And so, for those of y'all that haven't heard, that's the news that's going to be out there. And so Jason's goal is to buy like 50 rental houses in the next 12 months. And so we'll actually probably have him in on it as a guest several times over the next several months. Just kind of give us an update in terms of how his real estate investing is going. I know that in the last 2 weeks, he put offers on 30 houses. And it looks like he's actually, he's going to, I think he ended up contracting of the offers. I think he ended up contracting 21 of those. And then that puts him in the due diligence phase because he's contracting with option periods, things like that, which is more common when you're buying off of MLS. And it looks like he's actually going to be able to close on 8 of those properties. So for those of you that are saying that there aren't deals out there, there certainly are deals. Now, here's what the problem is that sometimes what will happen is as the market's starting to go through its cycles and phases. Hey, good morning, Richard. As the market's going through its cycles and phases, then oftentimes people that are focused on what a deal looks like for them don't see what's going on in the marketplace. Buffett over the years Warren Buffett has over the years been able to adjust as the market changes and take profits when the market gives itself opportunity like that. And it's not like he's waiting for a crash or a dip in the market in order to buy what it is that he wants to buy. He's not looking for those kind of opportunities. He's looking for an opportunity where he can buy something that's either going to appreciate in value over the long term, or he's buying at a discount to its current value. Or when he recognizes that the overall market, that even if you're buying at retail, that the market has reduced to a point where when it rebounds, he's going to have made money. Hey, good morning, Sonia. So what ends up happening is, I think that in the single-family real estate space, a lot of times people's thinking allows them to miss when opportunity exists. There's 3 key phases that people will monitor. One is that they're looking at what's the discounted price that I'm buying to the retail market price in a particular given price range. Like if I'm going to flip we've got a property that's getting ready to go on the market for somewhere between $450,000 and $499,000. When I bought the property, what I knew is I bought it based on assuming that I'm going to be able to sell it for $450,000. But I took out my expenses for selling that house. I'm going to have a 10% selling cost. So it means that when I sell it for $450, it's going to cost me $45,000 in closing costs between the buyer's agent, the seller's agent, the title insurance, the escrow, the doc prep fees, the attorney fees, all of those things. And then I'm also going to have 2% for what I call negotiation after the sale. So all that's about a 10% closing cost. Then I'm also going to have, had to take a drink of water. Also going to have a 10% holding cost. Now, the longer you hold a piece of property, the more that can increase, and the higher your cost of money, the more that can increase. So that's just a rule of thumb. For those of y'all that are learning to flip for the very first time, may not know that there's really a 10, 10, and 10. That 70% minus repairs actually is based on, that's a lending criteria, but if we break it down, 10% for profit, 10% for selling costs, and 10% for holding costs, you have to be aware that that holding cost is a variable that can be higher or lower based on what your cost of money is and how long you're holding the property. But it's a good rule of thumb. But you should know the underlying math that creates that number. So 10% on holding costs and then 10% on the profit, then minus the repair. So if I'm buying a property to flip, then what I'm typically doing is I'm buying it at 70% minus repairs. This particular property had about $120,000 rehab. So I knew that it was going to take about 4 months to rehab the house. Then I knew it's going to perhaps be on the market. I'm going to allow for it being on the market for 90 days and then 60 days to close. So I even built in a little bit of extra margin there in terms of my holding costs. Now, if I'm looking at buy and hold, then I'm not necessarily comparing to retail because I have to look at what's the retail space doing there. How many retail buyers are there in relationship to investors? Because if you think about it in a healthy market, like if I'm buying a property to flip, what I recognize is most of the properties are being sold retail. The retail houses, if I'm comparing to a $450,000 house, 99% of those houses that are 95%, 97%, somewhere in that range, are going to be retail buyers, retail sellers, and then retail buyers. A retail seller that's got a house that's going to put on MLS, going to sell to someone that's moving into the house. That activity is robust, and I'm buying at a discount to that activity. However, in the buy and hold space, you have to pay attention to pre-2008. About 8 or 9 out of every 10 houses that were selling for $150,000. Remember, pre-2008, it was really, really easy for retail buyers to get mortgages. In fact, some would argue too easy. That's why Dodd-Frank was created. You had to have more than just the ability to fog a mirror in order to be able to get a mortgage. So prior to 2008, when it was so easy for those retail buyers to get properties, then retail prices were creeping up. As an investors, we could buy at a discount to that. But after 2008, when Dodd-Frank came in, it became harder and harder for those retail buyers in that price range to be able to buy properties. So then it became, instead of 9 out of every 10 houses are retail and 1 or 2 out of every 10 are investors, it flip-flopped. And it became really 8 or 9 out of every 10 properties were investors, and 1 or 2 out of every investors, or 1 or 2 out of every sales were retail buyers. So what's that mean? And what impact does that have when you're evaluating the property? If you're not aware that that's what's going on, and what I can tell you is there's no guru out here teaching this other than Right Path. And the reason why is because very few other gurus are actually out there doing real estate at the level that we're doing real estate. And so they don't understand because they're not flipping, they're not wholesaling, they're not doing buy and hold on a large scale. They don't see what's going on. So what they teach is like what they've been doing for the last 20 years. They teach what worked 20 years ago, and they're not making any adjustments to that. But the marketplace, if I were to buy a house, let's say that the house were $150,000 value on a house, and I'm able to buy that at a discount. Let's say it needs $20,000. Let's call it $30,000 worth of work. And I pay $80,000 for the house, and I put the $30,000 in work. So I'm all in at $110,000. So I've bought at a $40,000 equity discount to the retail price. So let's say I buy a house at XYZ Main Street, right, for $80,000. And let's say that the house right next door is exactly like the house that I just bought. Now, if I can buy it for $80,000 also, wouldn't you say that I've gotten the same kind of deal I got on the first house? However, when I bought my house for $80,000, that now becomes a comp to the $150,000 house that I was comping to before. So it's going to lower the comp value. So if an appraiser goes out and evaluates the house, that $80,000 is going to skew that $150,000 ARV downwards. Well, that means that typically an investor says, well, I don't want to buy at a discount. I always want to buy at a discount to retail, but that $80,000 is factored in. So what they don't realize is that $80,000 is already a discounted price. So if I want to try and buy at a discount to the 80, that means that if I'm going to buy it at 80%, I have to buy at 64. Well, the marketplace eventually steps in and says, hey, you're going to have to start limiting, because cash buyers are going to step in, because you can follow that trend downward. You say, I buy at 64, then you buy the next house at an 80% discount of that. You're buying at 56, then the next guy says, I want to buy at a discount of that. 80% of 56 is in the 40s. I mean, eventually you realize that you're not always going to be able to buy at an 80% discount to another investor. And when the investor is the marketplace, is 8 or 9 out of every 10 investors, then at some point in time, you can't buy at a discount. Well, then does that mean there's no deals? No, the deals are still there, but you're not buying at a discount to appraised value. You're buying based on cash flow. What happens is it limits the amount that you can borrow, because where I could buy with very little money out of pocket on the $150,000 property that I bought at 80, and I'm all in at 110 because I did $30,000 worth of rehab. If I try and repeat that in the future, now my appraised value might be at 130, not 150. So I'm buying at a discount to 130, but I'm still may only be able to buy at 80. I may not be able to, there's a floor, I may not be able to buy at 80. So where before I could borrow the whole 110, now maybe I can only borrow 95. So I'm out of pocket more, means my cash flow goes up, my pay down goes faster. Do you follow that? So my appreciation's still going to be good, my cash flow is going to be even better, but my captured equity is going to be less. But it doesn't mean that it's not a good deal. I'm still got a property that's $80,000. In other words, if I were just a cash buyer and I'd buy all the houses I can at $80,000, right? Wouldn't you? In fact, you'd be kicking yourself if you don't. If you want to call in and engage in this conversation, feel free to do so. It's 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817 is our call-in number. Don't hesitate to give us a call. We can talk about finding deals, funding deals, analyzing deals, financing deals, disposing of deals, all of that. We talk about all that right here at Right Path Real Estate Radio. Practical real estate investing. Give us a call.
Mike's off.
Hey, good morning, Dean.
Founder inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly,
hey, good morning, Matt.
What to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give Next Gen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons of communication. You'll have a dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract-to-close associate. Give me a call today at 713-579-3611, and let's talk about how we can help you on your next transaction. NMLS 514497.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes, binders, and the agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. It's there for you. Call Houston's leading real estate risk management experts, Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas, 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund to help you with repair costs. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing. We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and the ability to tap into trillions of dollars for your real estate investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information, call us at 1-855-IRAs.
Hey, good morning, Steve. Good morning, Brian.
Or visit our website at questira.com.
Selecting a foundation company and their product for repair is a lot like a game of chance. You simply don't know what you're going to get. The foundation repair industry as a whole doesn't carry a license, nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of our files to give you the best foundation analysis in today's market. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825 or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip, rehab, or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
30 seconds.
All right.
Just the sound of that word makes people cringe. At Anderson Advisors, we provide tax reduction through asset protection for real estate investors throughout the country. Our unique philosophy has CPAs, lawyers, bookkeepers, and estate planners with one common goal, helping you, the real estate investor. Check us out today at andersonadvisors.com. And don't forget to tell us you heard about us at Right Path Real Estate.
This is Business 1110.
All right, here we go. Hot mics.
She's a brick house, although we like Hardy also. I mean, whether it's brick, whether it's Hardy. Oh, that was really bad, wasn't it? Oh, my God, that was so cheesy. I'll make it even worse. It isn't easy being cheesy. Sorry. All right, we like brick houses. We like houses on slab. We like houses on pier and beam. We like all kinds of houses. We like houses. We like duplexes. You know, we even like multifamily, although, oh my gosh, I really just feel like what I need to do is I need to do a video and just talk about why multifamily now is a bad idea. And what most people don't realize is that multifamily is more like a business than it is a piece of real estate. Oftentimes people get confused because they see, you know, the bricks and the doors and the roofs and all that, and they think, oh yeah, it's real estate, but it's not. It's really more like you're buying a business. And I ask everybody, hey, if you're going to buy a business, do you want to buy it low or do you want to buy it high? And everybody says, well, you buy low. And if you want to sell a business, you want to sell it high or you want to sell it low. And everybody says, I want to sell high. Okay, buy low, sell high, Economics 101. But we're at record highs on, I mean, I'm seeing Class C's, C minuses, I mean, C built structures in, I mean, D plus areas. I mean, really bad stuff. And going for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a door. I mean, just craziness. Especially even on small, it gets worse on smaller properties even. You know, you get a 45 door, 48 door multifamily. I mean, it's hard to make that passive. And they start, you know, you're selling it on a cap rate, and that's a whole nother story. I've done a video about cap rate and explaining that. If you want to get access to some of these videos that I'm talking about, you need to come to our free event. It's we do it on Tuesday evenings at 6 o'clock. We do it on Thursdays at noon. And the title of my talk today is Your Thinking Determines Your Destiny. Because it's amazing to me when I talk to people about, you know, why they're looking at real estate, why they're considering getting into real estate. It's really about, making more money typically, for whatever reason, right? Everybody's got their own reason to, provide better for their family, to create a legacy for their children and grandchildren, all of those kind of things. Great, noble causes, right? But it's amazing to me the kind of reasons that I hear of what stands in the way of people going towards their better future. I got involved. It was interesting. Just this past week, one of the things that happened is that we had this event scheduled for Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And we've got a system and a process, because that's what a business does. A business sets up systems and processes for how you do certain things, right? So we have the system and process. You register for our free event. Then you're going to get sometimes people will register for things 3 or 4 days in advance, and then they forget that they registered for something. And so because of that, we want to increase our show-up rate. And so we send a reminder email, we send a reminder text, and then we make a live reminder phone call. Somebody in our office calls everybody that's registered to come and just reminds them. Now, not everybody even answers their phone, which I always find kind of fascinating. How many people screen their calls? So we talked to this guy, and he says, yeah, I'm going to be there. Well, then we track and say, okay, if people register, they get a reminder text, they get a reminder email, and then they get a reminder phone call, and they say that, yeah, I'm going to actually be there. Talk to the person live. And then when they don't show up, we're always curious, hey, what happened? Why didn't you show up? And the number one reason why we hear there was an accident and traffic's bad, which I kind of laugh, because what I recognize is people that are successful and people that do things at a high level never allow that to be their excuse. I recognize that we have a student last year that joined us in September. And from September to August, with the teachings that we taught him, I'm not giving him, I'm not saying that, I can take 100% of the credit, because he did the work. Just like if you show up to a gym and you want to get more fit, the gym can't take all the credit. But if you work with a personal trainer, the personal trainer can kick you in the tail and coach you and make sure that you're accountable and you do the things that you've said that you want to do. But the personal trainer can't take the credit, because you actually have to do the work. You got to actually follow the program, right? So I'm not saying that I'm taking the credit, but as part of our program, he bought 15 houses in 11 months, added $1.2 million in captured equity to his net worth, added $130,000 of cash flow a year, net cash flow, to his family's household income, and will capture another year after year, another $200,000 in equity growth through appreciation over the next several years. And I recognize this guy showed up, doesn't make excuses, does whatever it takes. So I'm one of these guys that I rarely ever show up early to a meeting. I also rarely ever show up late to a meeting. It's extremely, I can't say it never happens, but it's extremely rare for me to show up late to a meeting. I'm normally about 2 or 3 minutes early, or I'm about a minute late, somewhere in that 4-minute window. And I've gotten really good. I don't care how far away the appointment is. I work backwards, build in a little bit of margin in there, and I take off. And, I know how to wiggle my way around accidents really quickly. I don't sit in the traffic. I look far in advance. And I'm amazed how people will say, oh, well, it was raining. And I'm like, this is Houston, Texas, and it's not like rain catches us by surprise, especially in August, September. This is the rainy season. Like, it rained yesterday, it rained the day before, it rained the day before that, it rained the day before that, it rained the day before that. It's going to rain today, it's going to rain tomorrow, the next day. It's like, this is the rainy season. So don't tell me that if you have to be someplace at 5 o'clock this evening, that you're going to be surprised by, number one, that it's raining, number two, that there's traffic. That's just expected, right? So you have to build in that there's going to be traffic and there's going to be rain, and you don't let that be an excuse. Here's what I'd say is, if I said that if you're at my office at 6 o'clock today and you're going to get $100,000 in cash, I guarantee you traffic and weather is not going to be the excuse. So it's the mental games that we play with ourselves that keep us from our destiny. Because I will guarantee you this. I know this one truth. That the things that we do lead to what it is that we have. And what we do is all based on the decisions that we've made. We make a decision to do the things we do, right? So he made a decision to leave when he left in order to get to the meeting. And obviously that was a poor decision. He made a really poor decision because he didn't get to the meeting on time. And instead of showing up to the meeting late, he didn't want to be disrespectful. He just didn't show up to the meeting at all. So all those were decisions that led to the action that he took, that led to the result of not being at the meeting that he committed to go to. And all of that was predicated on the decision, but the decision is based on how he thinks. So what most people want to focus on, and Jai, you're asking a great question about on Facebook right now, and this addresses my point. Most people want to focus on the doing, thinking that once I understand what to do, then that's going to lead to the results that I'm going to get. But that's not the part that's broken. The part that's broken is the thinking, which the intermediary step between the thinking and the doing is the deciding. So many times the questions that we get are all about the doing, but they haven't changed the thinking or the deciding as a precursor to the doing. So we can talk about the doing till the cows come home, and it doesn't lead to the actions or the results because it's the thinking that's broken. So, Jai, to answer your question in short terms, is that I don't really know, and it doesn't really matter whether they were bought with cash or whether they were leveraged, because there's advantages and disadvantages to both. Because the advantage to buying in all cash is it creates a massive amount of cash flow. So if you're in this strictly for cash flow, then you're going to increase your cash flow. But if you're in this for wealth building, and understand that cash flow and wealth building they can kind of go hand in hand, but they're like two ends of the teeter-totter. Because if you want to maximize your cash flow, then pay all cash for all the properties, but you reduce your amount of leverage. And the leverage really increases your appreciation and your wealth building. So you can have a lot of equity in properties, which is a lot of wealth that you can leverage in the future. That's, potential leverage in the future in terms of borrowing against things like that. But that's not really the issue. What I realize is that every single person, based on their age, based on the amount of assets they have, based on their skill set, based on all of those things, is going to lead to the continuum here really is, it's where do I want to be? Wealth and income a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And then where am I today so that I can say, okay, what I'm trying to get to is point B, right? Now, not everybody's point B is going to be the same. If I talk to 10 different people, where they're trying to get to, just like that's why not everybody goes to vacation to the same place. That'd be crazy. Some people like going to places like Banff. Some people like going to to Montana. Some people like going to Colorado. Some people like going to Hawaii. Some people like going to Australia. I mean, some people like going to Europe, London. My dad's in Spain right now. Not everybody likes to go to the same place in vacation. That's what makes this world go round, right? So not everybody's trying to get to the same place. Not everybody's on the same time frame to get there. And even more importantly, not everybody's leaving from the same spot. I imagine there's lots of other people that are on vacation in Spain at the same time that my dad's on vacation in Spain. But the music says that I'm out of time, and I want to continue this conversation on the other side of the break. So we'll talk about going on vacation in Spain and where are we leaving from on the other side of the break. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817.
Mike's off.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give Next Gen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons of communication. You'll have a dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract-to-close associate. Give me a call today at 713-579-3611, and let's talk about how we can help you on your next transaction. NMLS 514497.
Hi, Clint Coons here, attorney and avid real estate investor. You know, the greatest mistake real estate investors make is not understanding the potential liability that exists from owning real estate. At Anderson Business, Legal, and Tax Advisors, we specialize in protecting real estate investors in all 50 states. In addition to structuring your business for optimum protection, we provide guidance so you pay the least amount of taxes available under the law. We have 150 employees that range from lawyers to CPAs to estate planners and much more. Download our free ebook, The Invisible Investor Strategy, today at AndersonAdvisors.com or call for a free risk reduction analysis and financial blueprint at 800-706-4741. Anderson Business Advisors will help you keep more of what you earn. Call us today at 800-706-4741 and mention Right Path Real Estate.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.? Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund
I'm going to stand up some more in this.
Well, you can. Quest IRA
There
is
we
based
go.
locally here in Houston, Texas.
Oh, now they're in trouble.
Less than a minute.
Tim Hall, you're dead on, but knowing doesn't hurt either. Yeah, absolutely. You got to know it.
Private entities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell
But,
any
you know, we
investments or
recognize at Right Path that we're doing financially what a gym does for people's physical health. And so there's so many parallels between, I don't know if you've ever gone to a gym, worked out. Think about how many Americans that we have that are, you know, what I know is, you know, 65% of Americans are overweight and half of those are obese. And so we have an epidemic in America of people that are physically unhealthy. And then by the same token, I think we have the same number of people that are financially unhealthy. And so the knowing is part of it, but the doing is what gets the results. But we focus on the doing, and it's the thinking that has to change.
You ready?
Of course I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. So I was talking about my dad's in Spain right now. He's been sending pictures. I'm gelling. And so I realized that there's probably some people that left the same time from the U.S. to go from, you know, the U.S. over to Spain to hang out, have a vacation over there. But my dad left from Houston. Somebody else may have left from Chicago. Somebody else may have left from Denver. So they could have taken different flights. They could have taken different airlines. They could have left at different times. And yet the destination is the same. They're all in Spain, right? So in the same token, you've got to decide, where do you want to be financially? That's your point B. Where do you want to be? And so I think, Jai, just to answer your question, you know, that you asked on Facebook, you know, are they leveraged, or are they, did he pay cash? All that is a function. Those decisions are made. Those are just technicalities that are functions based on him getting where he wants to go. That's like saying, hey, did he take United Airlines or did he take he didn't take Southwest of Spain, but did he take United or did he take American Airlines or did he take Lufthansa? What airline did he take? Because that's just the vehicle to get to where it is that he's trying to get to. And because there's advantages to leveraging and there's some advantages to paying cash. And so what you have to balance is, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? And those decisions about should I leverage, should I pay cash will be determined by where are you trying to get to and where are you starting. And when I look and I sit down with people and I see where people are frustrated, because there's so many people that want to be successful in real estate. Trust me, I know. I mean, I see them at the Redneck Country Club on the third Wednesday, and what I recognize is, it's a large event. There's like 900 people there. And I see people making all kinds of mistakes there because a lot of times they're just trying to figure it out on their own. And it'd be like going to the gym and trying to figure out, how to best get into physical shape, trying to figure it out all by yourself. And what I can tell you is there's some, if you've ever worked with a very skilled personal trainer that knows how to get the maximum results for the least amount of now, don't get me wrong, it's still work. I don't mean that there's not work involved, but there's a reason why every single NFL team in America today has a strength coach as part of the coaching staff of the team. That's not always been that way. We see that today, but if you've been following, football going all the way back to the 70s, that not every team has always had a strength coach. In fact, I got a chance to meet the guy that was the first strength coach in the entire NFL. I mean, there was one team that said, yeah, that we think that's a good idea. It's going to give us a competitive advantage. Now everybody's got that. And so you sit down with one of these NFL, I got a chance to play golf around with the strength coach of the Tennessee Titans at the time. He and I shared a golf cart, and got a chance to pick his brain about some stuff and things like. You sit down and you talk. That guy's on a whole nother level about what it takes that with efficiency to get the maximum amount of results out of your body. Versus picture some 15-year-old high school kid going to the gym. Not as part of a sports team or something like that, but he just decides to buy a weight set and just start lifting on his own. Is that better than doing nothing? Yeah, of course it is. But is that going to get him the result producing activities that a real pro working with him would be able to get out of him? And the answer is no. And so what I see is when I go to the Redneck Country Club event, there's a lot of people out there trying to figure it out on their own. And as a result, they're putting a lot of effort in, but it's not producing the results that they're trying to get. And then oftentimes what happens when you're not seeing results, you quit. Unless you're surrounding yourself with other people that are achieving at a high level, right? And most people don't actually ever want to do that. A lot of times people are loners. They want to do it all by themselves. And what you find is successful people, everyone knows the cliches. If I could throw out almost any cliche out there. And I bet if I started the cliche, you as a collective audience could complete the cliche for me. So if I say, the size of your net worth is directly related to the size of and you're going to say network, right? The bigger your network and the quality of your network, you realize that people that are very successful in business and financially successful in life, those people have I was talking to a friend of mine named Andy not too long ago, and I said, I'm old enough to remember Rolodexes. The guy that's the CEO of Exxon, his Rolodex is pretty powerful. He knows a lot of powerful people because he's a powerful person, right? And so that's the kind of network that you want to be involved in. If you want to grow your net worth, you've got to grow your network. People say that it's lonely at the top. No, it's not. It's really not, because you're constantly networking with other people, and no one can get to the top of anything by themselves. They have to build a team of people in order to get there. No one achieves any degree of significant success in life all by themselves. It takes a massive supportive team. You think of a Indy race car team or a Formula One race car team or a NFL championship Super Bowl team. No one gets to that level. That when the Astros won the World Series, I mean, did they do it by themselves? Heck no. Look at all the support that it took to get them there. I mean, did the owner of the Astros, Jim Crane, is he the reason why the Astros were so successful? He got that World Series championship ring all by himself, right? Heck no. Of course he didn't. So what I want you to recognize is at Right Path, we fight for your success on a daily basis. We want you to be successful. We feel like that the best way to build wealth and income in America today is through single-family houses. Will that be the way it is 5 years from now? I don't know. What I'll tell you is we're going to be actively involved in the marketplace, and when we see opportunities, I remember back in the 80s that there was a guy that started with relatively modest amounts of money and became a billionaire in retail strip shopping centers. He would go in and buy lower-end retail strip shopping centers and rehab them, and monetize. I mean, just turn, non-cash flowing retail strip shopping centers into. Now, is that an opportunity today? Not like it was then. There were so many vacant retail strip shopping centers, he saw an opportunity. And now that we've seen what can be done in that, we can wait for an opportunity like that to come along. I think an opportunity like that's coming in office buildings. I think an opportunity like that's coming in multifamily, but it's not here right now. So as the marketplace shifts, we at Right Path are going to keep you educated about what the marketplace is doing. Right now, here's what I can tell you is Warren Buffett got kind of wealthy on close to 20% rates of return. Right now, we've got a lot of our students that are averaging above 20% rates of return year after year after year, and all through single family. And I can sit down and talk advantages and disadvantages of single family versus multifamily, single family versus commercial, single family versus single family versus Bitcoin, single family versus the stock market, single family versus the bond market, single family versus notes. All of those things we can sit down and talk about the pros and the cons. I know people that do notes at a high level. I know people that do multifamily at a high level. I know people that do all of those things at a high level. I know people that do the stock market at a high level. But I would compare all of those things. I love that Jason has this term as compared to what, right? So we have to look at what does single family look like as compared to these other investment vehicles. And we can also talk about single-family buy and hold versus flipping and wholesaling. Now, somebody reported back to me about a week ago. They said, hey, Tom, it seems like your message at Right Path is really changing. You're moving away from flipping and wholesaling and moving more towards buy and hold. And I said, well, that's a yes and a no. Here's the thing is we're not moving away from flipping and wholesaling. We still teach that actively. But what we recognize is that when you flip and wholesale, and we think that's a great way to build chunks of cash. But we also want to make a very clear distinction. Number one, it's not passive. And number two, it's you work and then you get paid. And unless you're doing it again, where you're going to work some more and then get paid some more, you don't work and then get paid multiple times off of a flip or off of a wholesale deal. You do the work and then you get paid. Now, what I can tell you is we see a lot of people that, number one, say that they want to start with wholesaling because they think it's the easiest. Well, really what's happened is there's a lot of guys out there selling wholesale education, and they want to, and what they realize is a lot of people are gullible, and so they teach that wholesaling is easy when it's, in my opinion, it's not. I think it's one of the hardest places to get started. And we talk about that at our weekend event. And if you want to learn more about that, all you need to do is register for our free event, come to that, and then you can come to our weekend event. Our next weekend event is going to be not this weekend, not starting tomorrow. It's a Saturday, Sunday. It's from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday and 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. We talk about marketing. We talk about mindset. We talk about analyzing deals. We talk about estimating rehabs. We talk about all the nuts and bolts of the doing in order to get the results that you're looking for. But we're still teaching wholesaling. We're still teaching flipping. But we teach you, wouldn't it be helpful to know what's the price range that you should be marketing to if you want to wholesale versus the price range that you should be marketing to if you want to do buy and hold versus the price range That you shouldn't be doing wholesaling, flipping, and buy and hold in all the same price ranges. There's an advantage to certain price ranges. I see a lot of people, what they do is they want to buy a house to flip. They want to buy a house for $50,000 and then put maybe $30,000 in it so that they're all in for $80 and turn around and sell that for $150. And what I can tell you is that's one of the hardest things to do, is to flip a house that's below $150,000 and below. In fact, below $175,000, $180,000, it's really, really difficult to flip those houses. Yet, over and over, man, if I had $1, I won't say a penny, but if I had $1 for every time somebody told me that, oh, Tom, what you don't understand is what I'm looking for is I want to find a house for, somewhere around $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 that needs $20,000, $30,000 of the work, and I can sell for about $150,000, kind of play small ball because I want to kind of control my risk and things like that. That, number one, they're increasing their risk. And number two, they're designing a business that's not scalable or duplicatable. Can it happen one time? Yes. A blind squirrel can get a nut every now and then. But do I want to build a business model out of that one-off event happening on a really rare occasion? No, I don't want to do that. You can design businesses that look great on paper, but if you don't understand the marketplace, you don't have the experience of understanding the marketplace, then the business just won't work. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. If you want to join in the conversation, give us a call. See you on the other side.
Mike's off.
Oh, you know what? This is a great song for real estate investors, right? All the people that get involved, and another one bites the dust. I hate that there's such a high failure rate. This is a very simple business, but it's not easy. Anybody can do it. You don't have to be a tremendous physical specimen. You don't have to be super intelligent. You do have to understand the plural of luck is skill. Nice.
Will help you evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. 281-872-7800 or email us.
Yeah, I would say the plural of luck is work, because the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Super investor networking meeting. Lots of fun, lots of great real estate talk.
Hey, I got to go sign a closing doc, so I'll be right back. We're closing on a house today. Hold on.
Are you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.
All right, we're buying a house today.
We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
Excuse me.
NMLS 514497.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our exclusive investor package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Are you looking for an investor
All right, 1 minute.
contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
All right, hot mics.
All right, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. All right, look at this. Just closed on a house during the break. I don't know what y'all did during the break, but I just bought a house. So Andy said a friend of mine posted this morning, the plural of luck is skill, and I commented during the break that I closed on a house and commented on Facebook also that I find the plural of luck is work, because I know that the harder I work, the luckier I get. And L. Johnson says, why are reserves required if the lending is lending on the asset if it's a hard money loan? That's a great question. So what they want to make sure is that you have enough cash in order to make the monthly interest payments and the monthly tax payments. And then also, so let's say that you're going to have a loan for 6 months. They just want to make sure that they're going to get paid. So you're not actually having reserves on
2 minutes.
the asset itself. But if you're buying at, let's say you're buying a $300,000 house and it needs $50,000 in work, so 70% of that would be $210,000, and it needs $50,000, that's $160,000. They're going to want to make sure that you have about a third of the construction remodeling, about $15,000 to get, because the contractor's going to want money up front to get started. So you're going to need that $15,000. Then they're going to also want to make sure that you have the 6 months interest payments plus 6 months of taxes, because they're going to make sure that you pay your taxes on a monthly basis, because they actually accrue monthly. Actually, they accrue daily. So that's why. And then when the property is well below ARV. So yeah, you're normally buying at 70%, and they want to make sure they get paid, and that's the way that it works. Their underwriting. They say that there's a golden rule, right? He who has the gold makes the rules. And in this case, it's not gold, it's money. So he who has the money makes the rules. And so there are gap funders out there that will fund that gap between, which is basically that amount that you need to have. So, hey, I hope you've enjoyed the show on Friday. I'll normally be here on Fridays from now on, Right Path Real Estate. What I can tell you is on a weekly basis, through Houston House Buyers, I'm out there buying single family for flipping, for wholesaling, and for buy and hold. And if you want to do that also, you can do it by yourself or you can do it with us. And isn't it a lot more fun when somebody says, hey, let's go do this together? And so I'm just going to invite you. Let's do it together. Come on in. The water's fine. There's plenty of opportunity out there. Let's build wealth and income together. Let's not get to the top and be lonely. Let's get to the top together. Let's do this together. Seconds. We'll teach you how. Go to rightpathrealestate.com. Register for our free event. Our next one's on Tuesday. For those of y'all that are coming to cocktails and contracts tonight, right. You're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be our inaugural event. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a great weekend. Buy a lot of houses. See you on Monday.
All right, Tom, mic's off.